Hey there, my name is Christian Martinson, and I'm here in Dr. Ralph Winter's old workshop behind his house, which I have made into my office. My wife and family have moved here from Chicago. I work remotely for Moody Bible Institute, but we've moved here within the last year, and we're fortunate enough to be living here in Ralph Winter's the home that he spent his final years in, and I've remade his workshop into my office space, which is really special. And to be honest, I often reflect on the things that he was thinking about and that I'm reading of his thought and mindsets in revolutionizing ministry training and embedding those 12 perspectives, those 12 frontiers of perspective into an educational mindset in a way that we can relook at how we do training in the body of Christ. So all that to say is it's a privilege to be here, and I briefly wanted to go through the two options that Moody Bible Institute can look at in terms of partnering with the Venture Center. I have gotten wind that there's some confusion on those things, and I know that different elements are being discussed, and I just want to provide clarity. This isn't a marketing pitch by any stretch. It's simply to provide clarity on what the opportunities with Moody are, their pros, cons, limitations, and so forth. So the first thing I would love to discuss is this concept of Moody West. What is Moody West, you might ask? Well, that is kind of the name that has been dubbed this concept of Moody establishing a campus here on the Venture Center campus. And we would call Moody West essentially a traditional campus program experience. And that reality would ultimately mean that Moody would recruit and send students to the Venture Center campus to be at Moody Bible Institute West or Moody Pasadena or whatever it would be called. Moody would own the entire student experience just like they do in Chicago and on our Spokane campus and so forth. And there would be opportunity for students to potentially collaborate or do internships and get involved with some of the things going on the campus, but ultimately it'd be limited involvement by Frontier Ventures or any other ministry in terms of any of the design and content and implementation of the program, because Moody would essentially need to be fully Moody from everything the students are doing, from the dorm life to the student life to the chapels to the training to the internships to the classes to everything would all be run by Moody. Everyone that's involved in the student life would be employed by Moody in some capacity or approved by Moody and that sort of thing. And the limitations with that, from a practical standpoint, is that Moody is not, while they have agreed to want to pursue something of that nature and willing to pursue something of that nature, they can certainly not sign off and agree and contract into anything of this nature right now, because that is all based on things that they have very limited control over, meaning recruiting students and sending them here, knowing about how many students that would be, that is something that they have no idea how to do. They have not done something as specific to this before. We do have a Spokane campus, but the Spokane campus is primarily built on students who did not get into the main campus in Chicago that were then filtered out to Spokane. And they built the student experience and campus around that. That could be a way that we would run things if Moody and Frontier Ventures or the Venture Center decides to partner in that way. But Moody is not in a position right now to say, we definitely can do this, we can sign off on this, we can commit to this many students. They simply can't do that right now. And my personal opinion is that's just not something to even bother to consider, especially not in terms of weighing that up against how Moody could compete with or replace an existing tenant here on the campus. Especially if you're looking at what a certain tenant is willing to commit to and what Moody would be willing to commit to. It's simply not feasible. When I came, and to be honest, we're not here, my wife and I aren't here just to see Moody be on this campus. We simply want we believe that God's hand is on this campus. We believe it has a beautiful, rich history and a glorious future. We've been absolutely moved and gripped by why this campus was started and what is happening here and what the heart to have happen here is. And we really believe beyond Moody, we are here for all the other elements. We feel local church-wise that this is something we're supposed to put ourselves into. Missions-wise, my wife and I actually met and dated and bonded and were envisioned for our life and ministry around missions, not around academics like through a Moody Bible Institute or even around local church. It was originally missions that we were feeling that the Lord was stirring us for. And so we never put that up on the shelf, but when we came and just looked at the opportunity here, we felt the Lord pierce our hearts with this stirring that he was merging multiple things and passions inside of us together here, that he would merge these things for missions and local church and for academics and the training of the body of Christ all in one place. And I could even get emotional just talking about it, but this isn't about Moody Bible Institute. This is about the decisions and the things that have to be made here on the campus. And I just want to clarify what Moody Bible Institute can do, if that makes sense. So the second element that I want to describe, that was Moody West. That would be a traditional campus experience that would be run by Moody completely, basically from start to finish. Very similar to how Providence is set up on the campus. But Moody obviously would be a bit more ministry focused. The students all that go to Moody are headed towards full-time ministry. And then Moody ultimately has a much more missions focused DNA as part of it. But that doesn't mean that the programs would necessarily be that way if this was the way that Moody came to the campus. The second way that they can come and partner, which is really what I was hoping would happen and what I had much more vision for when we came without meeting any of the leaders yet, or at least not intimately knowing any of the dynamics happening on the campus, was something that's kind of been thrown around with the title of Mott Training Center. If that doesn't mean anything to you, that's fine. That's because it's not a real name. It's just been kind of floating around as to describe the concept of a training center here on the campus. But essentially, if Moody partnered in this way, it's more of what we call an extension site model. That's something that we've done more of and is more of the standard way that Moody partners with other organizations, churches, and ministries by offering classes or full degrees where other churches or ministries run the student experience. So, for instance, we have a church in Ohio that runs an extension site there. They run the entire student experience at Grace Church Akron, but Moody vets and designs and runs the program and the classes. So the professors they bring in there are all Moody vetted professors, and the curriculum is a Moody curriculum and degree program. But the student experience is fully run by Grace Church Akron. The students are brought in by Grace Church Akron, and it provides a really rich and unique experience for the students who want to come there for what they uniquely offer. And so they build their program around what a student experience can look like there at Grace Church in Akron, Ohio. Now, in a similar fashion, there is an opportunity here on the Venture Center campus to take the ministries that are already here and that already have programs or that can build programs and attract students to come to take those programs and pursue a Moody degree simultaneously. The way that would look is that the students would essentially be brought in through the ministries that are running programs already here on the Venture Center campus. That might include Frontier Ventures. It could include the School of Supernatural Ministry. It could include Pi Hop. And those groups could collaborate with each other and, design a student experience that allows students to do multiple different facets and trainings from potentially multiple different ministries, or a student can come in through just maybe one of the ministries and pursue an accredited degree through Moody. But ultimately, this allows crossover and collaboration between the ministries. It allows the opportunity for students to come to the campus to receive training and an experience for what's on the campus. And so the students aren't coming just for Moody and to get a degree in biblical studies. They would be coming so that they could experience what Frontier Ventures has to offer, what PyHop has to offer, what SSM has to offer, for instance, and what they have to offer as a collaborative group. Students can experience training then from the multiple ministries, and a program can be designed to completely revolutionize a ministry or missions-minded student experience. Personally, I believe this is aligned with the concept that Ralph Winter gave, revolutionizing the way we train ministry leaders. I don't have time to get into all of it because I really want this video just to be the nuts and bolts to differentiate the two options. But really briefly, the way that could potentially look, let me just close this little thing off that keeps moving on my screen. Sorry. But potentially the way that can look is, one, during the first year, we've suggested allowing students to pursue CLEP courses and credits, which is something that Moody already does with certain student groups and what any Moody student can do, but we're going to formalize it and build a community out of it whereby a student can come in. The CLEP standardized tests are something that are designed by the same national institute that designs our SATs and ACT tests for high school students. And this organization makes standardized tests for college students to take. They can transfer in anywhere. So a student could essentially take college mathematics or sciences or literature and then transfer that into any institute, whether that's Moody Bible Institute, UCLA, a state school, secular, or Bible school, doesn't matter. Moody's already set up what CLEP tests transfer in most seamlessly to their program, and those credits transfer anywhere. So a student that's looking to come to this campus, and let's say, hey, they want to do a year of something where they can get this really powerful experience in learning about the world Christian movement and what Frontier Ventures has to offer, and missions training, and potentially also pick up some things through the other ministries here. They can come and do CLEP for a year, get a full year of college credit, and then stay here and pursue a Moody degree. Or they can stay here and pursue a non-Moody degree. We can potentially set up avenues through other online programs that students could pursue a full degree while doing internships and other experiences here on the campus or abroad, or they can transfer to another school. So they could use this as a gap year where they wouldn't get behind in their credits. They could take a full year of class and still get the student experience that would be run by the ministries here on campus. The way that this is so powerful is because, one, it's the time. It only takes about 6 to 7 hours a week of study throughout the course of the semesters for a student to get full credit throughout the year. A typical student in any college is going to spend anywhere from 40 to 60 hours a week studying, depending on whether it's finals or not, including class time. They're in the class for at least 15 hours a week, and then you've got study time anywhere from 20 to 40 hours in addition to that. This would allow students to never have to spend, at least in their first year doing this, more than 6 to 7 hours working on their accredited academics. They can spend the rest of those 40 plus hours training in the classroom, doing practical ministry experience, going on ministry trips, or however those who are designing the program want it to look. It's a really unique and powerful thing that we are having students do on their own. Students are already figuring this out. So we've had students on the mission field and other places do something similar with this. But it has yet to be done on a campus that's run in community that has ministries that are buying into this concept. And it's something that I think can be a really significant benefit to the Venture Center campus and the ministries that want to partner in this way. Insight is something that already offers a full year of college credit. Those courses would all transfer into Moody Bible Institute. So potentially, as an example, a student could take a year of CLEP, a student could take a year of Insight, and then transfer in half of a degree program, 2 of the 4 years, into Moody, and only have to complete the final 2 years of Moody classes in order to complete a Moody degree. The cost-wise, again, CLEP only costs about $100 of class. I think the Insight courses are very similar and a fraction of the cost of standard college tuition. So you're looking at something that allows the predominant amount of the tuition and fees that a student would pay here to go towards the programs that would be running them, which allows the groups running them, whether it's Frontier Ventures, Pi-Hop, SSM, to really staff and make a model that is cost effective to run these things. All the Moody degrees are accredited, so there can be obviously the degrees offered. We would want to offer a degree that's missions focused, but that is a brief summary. My time is short here. It's going to cut me off. I hope that's helpful.